Recently name-checked in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' recent filing against Justin Baldoni in Wayfarer Studios. I did it. I made it. I can now retire. All of the haters out there who doubted me are now asking for forgiveness. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who believed in me, who believed in us, who knew that this day would come. Please take my advice. Narrator. She did not listen. She did not take my advice at all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint. Yes, she will. So on the show today, for those of you guys that watched, I had said that looking at the SNL situation, it was my professional opinion that what we were watching was something that was concocted entirely by Ryan Reynolds, because
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's court battle has dramatically escalated, with fresh evidence raising serious questions about Lively's claims. Before formally filing her claims, Lively's team worked with media outlets to shape the narrative, according to digital metadata first discovered by commentator Candace Owens. This revelation has not only damaged Lively's reputation, but also caused the actress to publicly outburst as she comes under increasing scrutiny for her behavior and possible manipulation of public opinion.
Show of hands if you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to drop this freaking amendment. Okay, am I the only person with their hands raised? Are you guys just here to plagiarize because you know I went through every line like a complete psycho? That's perfectly fine. I just want you guys to know rather, that if you're here because you think there's some bombshell in here, as her lawyers were alluding to, oh, wait until everybody sees everything, you're going to be sorely disappointed, because if clickbait was an amendment, this is it. Okay, I cannot believe it. And there's so much more going on here. Now we really see the target of everything, I think. Really the linchpin for her lawsuit, the person that she went after, we have to discuss is
the romance drama It Ends With Us was the subject of controversy from the beginning, when outset and behind-the-scenes tensions swiftly turned into a full-fledged court struggle. Once praised for her flawless public persona and well-known playing abilities, Blake Lively is now embroiled in a sour conflict after filing charges stating that Justin Baldoni acted inappropriately on set, igniting a high-profile scandal between the two actresses.
Mr. PR move, Blake Lively then moved 11 days later to file a lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit, and I don't think she ever wanted to do this. I think she genuinely wanted this to be a PR move, and she wanted to leak it to the New York Times. She thought the public would take her side with no questions asked. And instead the public is saying, no, we have a few questions here. And Justin Baldoni is going all the way to the wall on this. His lawyer is already giving interviews explaining just how nasty her team has played this. The lawyer's name is Brian Friedman. He stopped by the Megyn Kelly show, and here's some of the things that he had to say. First, he says there used to never be a sexual claim. There never was a sexual claim until she went to that civil rights office. Take a listen.
There was actually no allegation of sexual harassment until the lawsuit was filed.
Justin Baldoni is now involving Taylor Swift in his lawsuit against Blake Lively. So Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicists for over $400 million for all the It Ends With Us drama. Now he's name dropping Taylor Swift, Blake's bestie, in the mix. Thankfully, Taylor Swift is not being sued, but she's mentioned in his 179-page paper complaint. And he's alleging that Taylor's fame was used to pressure him during production. And it really all stems from this penthouse situation where Blake and Ryan live. Apparently there was a meeting there with all of them, and Taylor Swift was actually present, and Blake ended up rewriting one of the scenes. And even after the meeting was over, Baldoni texted Blake this, saying, I gotta put my glasses on for this one, the font is too small. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. Really love what you did. Makes it so much more fun.
The charges, which range from accusations of impropriety to claims of a retaliatory smear campaign, have caused a media firestorm in addition to interfering with the film's development.
Talking all things Blake Lively and her legal complaint that she's filed against her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni. Yes, the It Ends With Us movie drama does in fact not end. What's interesting about this story to me is the Justin Baldoni of it all. He is a self-proclaimed male feminist. He's woke. He speaks out against sexual assault and sexual harassment, even toxic masculinity. And now in this legal complaint filed by Blake Lively, he's being accused accused of sexual harassment.
I challenge you to see if you can use the same qualities that you feel make you a man to go deeper into yourself. And will you be man enough to stand up to other men when you hear locker room talk, when you hear stories of sexual harassment, when you hear your boys talking about grabbing ass or getting her drunk? Will you actually stand up and do something so that one day we don't have to live in a world where a woman has to risk everything and come forward to say the words "me too"?
This is gonna be really awkward if these allegations are true. I will say, just for the record, I'm not a fan of either of these individuals, and something about both of them rubs me the wrong way.
Followed by an attempted PR takedown of her to cover his own ass from people finding out what he did to her. In an article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone," Blake Lively heroically shared her story, and the world was on her side because it looked like she was just trying to take down a predator in Hollywood. So Justin Baldoni and his ace lawyer launched an all-cylinder fire attack to clear his name, and he started by suing the New York Times, saying that article was just published because it was paid for by Ryan Reynolds, and it was a multi-layered scheme planned out by Blake and Ryan to take down Justin. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that the mainstream media will lie on behalf of their powerful friends or anyone who pays them off to say so.
Brian Fredman, Baldwin's lawyer, has categorically refuted claims that his client tried to harm Lively's reputation. Fredman argues that the charges are a part of a nasty onslaught that Lively's team planned, which included manipulating the media and presenting material out of context. He highlights how Baldwin's crisis management group functioned. Instead of making a deliberate attempt to disparage Lively, normal procedures concentrate on planning hypothetical scenarios. Friedman claims that the story against Baldoni is blatantly untrue and pledges to back up his client's claims with proof.
Release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts.
Justin Baldoni is firing back after Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against the actor, accusing him of unprofessional and sexually inappropriate behavior on the set of It Ends With Us. She also accused him of coordinating a smear campaign.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Baldoni is now suing the New York Times after the paper published a story about Lively's allegations.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
Baldoni claims that the text messages in Lively's lawsuit were taken out of context or excluded. The New York Times said in a statement that they stand by their reporting and plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. Lively said previously that she hopes her suit helps pull back the curtain on these sinister retaliatory tactics to harm people who speak up about misconduct.
It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works. Oops!
I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
Oh my God. And then she did exactly that to Justin Baldoni, apparently. If you want to write your own script, you should go write your own script. If you want to sign on to a movie with the understanding that you're going to actually make script changes, then great. But if the idea is that you sign on as an actor and then you turn around and try to take control of the script, this makes you a jerk.
In an effort to uncover proof of a smear campaign against Blake Lively, her legal team has subpoenaed Justin Baldwini and his allies' phone records. They'd also sought to subpoena Baldwini's phone and devices belonging to a number of other parties engaged in the case.
Baldwini's phone, meaning, and not only Justin Baldoni, the entire team that they had sued, meaning like 5 or 6 people, and they want not only to look at text messages in regards to the case, but in regards to everything.
And they want to go back 2.5 years.
Yes. With their internet browser history, so they can see whatever they Googled. I mean, if they do that to anyone's phone, you're going to find stuff that are suspicious, don't you think? I mean, you Google many weird things. I think for them to ask to have access to Justin Baldoni's text to his wife, I mean, isn't that outrageous?
It sounds like an overreach, if you ask me.
Yeah. Or like Justin Baldoni's lawyer called it, a fishing expedition, which is a word he used on purpose, I think, because that's a word that judges don't really like. And this is, like he also pointed out, this is not a criminal case, and Blake is not the FBI. This is a civil case. So I think asking for this, do you think they're going to get it through from the judge?
Not altogether, but, you know, it is you can do it in defamation cases, though.
Yeah, but I think limited in defamation.
They requested access to all private communications, internet searches, and browsing history from the last 2.5 years, in addition to texts pertaining to the lawsuit.
And Ryan Reynolds, my besties. Do you think that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively had anything to do with it?
This is what Justin Baldoni's team is saying, right? They're saying that Ryan Reynolds pressured WME to fire Baldoni.
Yeah.
And of course, that has been denied by WME. But why then did they fire Baldoni? There are more quotes though out there, and he's saying that I am the man that did it. What did he say? I'm a ride or die guy.
Yeah.
So he takes credit for firing him, and then he's making fun of his last name by calling him Bologna or something like that.
Yeah, Baloney.
And then he corrects himself and says Baldoni.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. And that's someone they represented for more than 5 years, apparently.
Call records, text messages, internet search histories, and browser information are all included in the request. The subpoenas target multiple Baldoni-related people in an attempt to gather proof for Lively's allegations of a concerted smear campaign against her.
Tea is flowing in the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively case involving Taylor Swift and Brian Friedman and all the characters that are involved. And the cross-fighting here in the legal documents, Justin responds to subpoena. Say, hey, this is a massive fishing expedition. It goes back and forth, and that's where we land on the actual documents that we're about to share with you. Umbrella Guy, friend of the program, says Blake Lively wants 2.5 years of Justin Baldoni, calls, texts, real-time location. Watch. It's all because she's attempting further character assassination since her Me Too claims didn't end him. Now, as we know, she claims he harassed her, SH, right? And that's really the big story. But she's also going to claim that he was part of a smear campaign. He's going to argue that was in retaliation. We were just planning a retaliation if you were going to come after.
Alone on Baldoni, in addition to Justin Baldwin, Blake Lively has subpoenaed billionaire co-founder Steve Surwitz, producer Jamie Heath, publicist Jen, AEL crisis PR specialist Melissa Nathan, and digital strategist Jed Wallace at Wayfarer Studios. She has also targeted phone and email providers, requesting copious amounts of documents. Call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site location data are all included in the request. Returning to December 1, 2022.
B-lister has filed subpoenas not just against Baldoni, but also the billionaire co-founder of his production company, Steve Sarowitz, his producing partner, Jamie Heath, his publicist, Jen Abel, his crisis PR expert, Melissa Nathan, that digital guru, Jed Wallace, and even more people that work at his production company, Wayfarer Studios. Plus, she's filed subpoenas against phone providers, email providers, and it is exhaustive. The shampoo company owner is asking for call logs, text logs, data logs. As I'm sure you know by now, the up-and-coming wardrobe stylist is suing her director, producer, and co-star in It Ends With Us for sexual harassment and retaliation, a smear campaign. However, he has countered back in his $400 million lawsuit against her and the ex-husband of Scarlett Johansson, claiming that they and her publicist Leslie Sloan were the ones to orchestrate a smear campaign against him. And he provided receipts in his amended lawsuit. And he's also suing Taylor Swift's former bestie for extortion.
A man isn't the solution. How do you feel about this heated dispute? Is Blake Lively's outburst justified in your opinion, or is the story being altered by Candace Owens' leaked evidence? Leave a comment with your ideas.